Like rain right now. Temperature in the 60s. Steven Gostowski, now in his 10th season as the Patriots kicker. And we are underway. Game on, season on with the touchback.
Ben Roethlisberger, Miami Redhawks.
D'Angelo Williams, the University of Memphis.
Antonio Brown, Central Michigan.
Marcus Wheaton, Chandler High School.
Heath Miller, Virginia. Matt Spaeth, Minnesota.
Kelvin Beacham, Southern Methodist University.
Ramon Foster, Ripley High School.
Cody Wallace, Texas A&M.
David DeCastro, Stanford.
Marcus Gilbert, Florida.
Cody Wallace, one of the guys in the crosshairs tonight with the injury to Marquise Pouncey, who was out for about half the season at least. Pittsburgh from the 20 on the first scrimmage play of 2015. And they start with Williams, the longtime Carolina Panther, and a great debut as a Steeler, an 18-yard gain to the 38. Taking the place of Le'Veon Bell, Dante Hightower makes the tackle, first down.
Very rarely do you see Rob Ninkovich on the outside not able to keep contained, but that time a little bit of the speed and quickness of D'Angelo Williams, the difference.
Williams.
Maybe a little grab, a little tug from Matt Spaeth to help out that effort.
No flag, 18-yard pickup on his first carry as a Pittsburgh Steeler. That's Antonio Brown in motion to the right side, and they flip it to him. And Brown great after the catch, picking up yardage, and he does so there. A gain of 9. It'll be second down and 1. Roethlisberger last year tied with Drew Brees for most passing yards in the league, and when you do the math on that, that's over 300 yards a game. Great TD to interception ratio, 32 to 9. Second and 1 up at the 48. Williams, and Williams takes it to the 50.
Rob Ninkovich, Purdue. Alan Branch, University of Michigan.
Malcolm Brown, Texas.
Chandler Jones, Syracuse University.
Jamie Collins, Southern Miss.
Gerard Mayo, Tennessee.
Dante Hightower, the University of Alabama.
Malcolm Butler, West Alabama University.
Patrick Chung, the Ducks.
Devin McCourty, Rutgers.
Terrell Brown, Texas.
And so Butler, the Super Bowl hero, now in the role of shutdown corner. He should be on Brown most of the night, if not all. Play fake. Roethlisberger slipped but maintained his balance, and it's caught by Heath Miller, who takes it to the 35. Mayo makes the tackle. Miller now in his 11th season out of Virginia. That's a gain of 14.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been running the ball so well. Now we're seeing this Patriots defense forced to react up to it in the play action. Very effective. D'Angelo Williams early on showing some real quickness. He's lost about 15 pounds from when he got cut with the Carolina Panthers, and it shows so far in this one.
Todd Haley now in his 4th year as the offensive coordinator, and it all came together last season. Steelers establishing a lot of offensive team records. Draw. Williams. And D'Angelo Williams to the 24. He can play all 3 downs. He's 32 years old. We asked Tomlin last night, can this guy really play all 3 downs? He said at least for 2 weeks.
Got the young Malcolm Brown right here, and so far he has been struggling inside. That time it was David DeCastro just sort of threw him away to the outside. These are gaping holes that you typically do not see against the Patriots defense.
Williams, 3 carries, 33 yards. Stack receivers to the right. Now Brown, and he can throw. He's left-handed. Looking, but the defense does its job, and he gets taken down at the 31-yard line by Malcolm Brown, #1 draft choice out of Texas.
Yeah, it helped that they were in a zone defense that time, so the safety's back here deep, able to kind of see this one from afar. No doubt about that. Antonio Brown, who was a left-handed quarterback in high school, so he kind of idolizes Mike Vick. And Mike Tomlin said every time he looks at Vick, he kind of does so wide-eyed. But the Patriots defense not wide-eyed on that one.
Loss of 8, second down and 18. Williams He gets bounced back, but bounces off a would-be tackle and gets thrust out of bounds, and we have our first flag of the season. Dante Hightower in on the tackle. Carl Cheffers is the referee. We'll hear from him.
Number 77 offense. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Marcus Gilbert.
Well, he got away. They held him the first time, but Ninkovich this time is going to get grabbed at the very tail end of this thing, just as D'Angelo Williams was jumping to the outside. You saw Gilbert just grab the jersey and got caught. So what looked like a very promising drive, you try the gimmick play, that goes nowhere but backwards. And now the big penalty, and you got to try and fight your way back into field goal range.
And you have a 2nd and 28. The backup running back is Will Johnson, fullback by trade. That's Johnson behind Roethlisberger, and they give it to him. Seldom used as a ball carrier, but pressed into backup duty tonight with Bell out. Williams getting the start. Tackle made there after a gain of about 6. And it will be 3rd and very long. And Easley is down. That's Dominique Easley, the injured New England Patriot. Patriots during the offseason, pretty busy. Boston Pops going to Bruins games, carrying that trophy around everywhere they went. Kenny Chesney concert, and there is Easley, who ended last season on injured reserve. And we'll take a look at what happened to him.
Yeah, as he was fighting there with Cody Wallace, you saw him grab his left hip. And here's a young man that's been through a lot of injuries to both knees in college, and finally healthy. They were excited about. He gives them a bit of an athletic pass rusher inside. Some of the other guys more run stoppers, and so that will hurt.
Easily out. Play resumes with a 3rd down and 22 from the New England 36-yard line. Bill Belichick in his 16th season as the head coach here. Spent 5 years in the 90s at Cleveland, 41 years total as a head coach or assistant coach in the NFL. Cheffers going over something with Mike Tomlin. Mike already in his 9th year, amazingly. Still the 2nd youngest coach in the league. Only Mike McCoy of San Diego is younger, and not by much.
22. At least get in field goal range here. A check down would not be a bad idea. Just something to get a little closer.
Williams stays in the block, and then he finds Miller, and Miller does get open enough to pick up enough yardage to put them in field goal range to the 26-yard line. Chung and Butler are there. The Steelers now with a new kicker. They were able to pick up Josh Scobie in a late trade a couple of weeks ago from Jacksonville because Sean Sweezen, their top kicker, got hurt in the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio in August. And then they brought Garrett Hartley in, and he got hurt. So they pick up Scobie with a lot of experience, and his first effort as a Steeler will be a 44-yard attempt. No wind to speak of. And Scobie's first kick is no good. Wide to the right, so a promising drive gets bogged down on a trick play and a penalty, and then the field goal attempt no good. Here comes Brady when we come back. Speaking of Sunday Night Football, in 3 nights we will be in Texas for the Dallas Cowboys against the New York Giants on Sunday Night Football. Here we go. Tom Brady taking his first snap of the season. The empty backfield, gets it away quickly, caught by Edelman, and Julian Edelman, their #1 receiver, gets forced out of bounds by William Gay. Flag on the play, coming in late.
Personal foul, number 77 offense. 15-yard penalty, the down counts, 2nd down.
That's Nate Solder who got into it with Jarvis Jones.
Yeah, right at the very tail end of the play. There was Jones up underneath him, and then you take the swing, and there it is. Sort of all's fair until you get to that point, and as soon as somebody reacts, Obviously, the fist under the chin, unsettling for Nate Solder. He reacts and he gets it.
Tom Brady winning 4 Super Bowls, MVP in 3 of them, and he joins Terry Bradshaw and Joe Montana as the only 4-time winners. Overall, he and Belichick have been to 6. Every one of them has been close. The closest, of course, was last February in Glendale, Arizona. 1st and 25. From the 32, the pass is caught on the outside, and that is Dion Lewis. It was 1st and 12. Actually, the penalty was marched off from the end of the play. So it's 1st and 12. Dion Lewis makes the catch, and that will give them a first down up at the 44.
Giving a lot of space on the outside as Tom Brady goes right to the no huddle. A cautious start here for the Steelers defensively.
Brady, good protection. Gets it to the outside. Lewis again playing in his first game in 2 years. Came up with Philadelphia, got hurt, was with Cleveland, got hurt there, was with Indianapolis briefly, and he may play a very big role tonight. Dion Lewis.
Tom Brady said this guy's about to become a cult hero here in New England with his quickness. People are going to love watching him play, and there's a brief taste of that.
Likened him to Danny Woodhead when he was here. From the Pittsburgh 43-yard line with 8.5 to go in the opening quarter.
Steelers adjust now and come down and get a little closer to these receivers.
And Brady slings that one incomplete, intended for Rob Gronkowski.
Tom Brady, Michigan.
Dion Lewis, Pitt.
Julian Edelman, Kent State.
Danny Amendola, Texas Tech.
Rob Gronkowski, Arizona.
Scott Chandler, Iowa.
Nate Solder, Colorado.
Josh Klein, Kent State.
David Andrews, Georgia.
Trey Jackson, Florida State.
Sebastian Ballmer, University of Houston.
2 rookies at center and right guard. 1 receiver missing is Brandon LaFell. He's hurt on the PUP list. And Brady going deep and a little too deep. Intended for Danny Amendola down the right sideline. He'd beaten Gay down the sideline before the safety help could get over there, and it will be 3rd down and 10.
Oldest play in the book against man coverage. Julian Edelman's going to come down here. Just a little pick, rub, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't get called, and they just missed a big home run ball there. Really no excuse. Tom Brady just missed him.
Patriots, they can beat you by running it 50 times or throwing it 50 times. Against Pittsburgh, historically, they've been very pass heavy. And they start that way tonight. No rushes so far. 5 passes from Brady. Play clock at 1. Tom has to escape, but not very far. He can only get to the 43. That's Bud Dupree, who's their #1 draft choice. Number 48 making the tackle. So you'd be looking at a real long distance field goal, obviously, here. And they'll pass up that opportunity. It'll be over 60, and Ryan Allen comes into punt.
Had a screen pass coming this way. Bud Dupree unblocked on the play, and for some reason Tom Brady didn't like the screen pass. Late getting the ball and just got unsettled.
Ryan Allen. Belichick has always loved left-footed punters. And he's got another one in Allen. Over the years, Brown is back. He calls for a fair catch and collects it at the 7-yard line. That's where Pittsburgh will begin its 2nd drive. Almost halfway through the opening quarter on opening night. No score. Bill Belichick on his iPad. Super Bowl starters. After the 0-1 season, they lost 2. They lost 4 after their 0-3 win. They lost 2 starters after their 0-4 victory. And then 6 starters are gone. 2 on offense, Connolly and Vereen. 4 on defense, including the starting corners, Browner and Revis. And the 3rd corner would have been Arrington, who's now with Baltimore. So Bill Belichick not afraid to mix up the roster. Guys come, guys go. He shocks people. There is Malcolm Butler, he of the immaculate interception in the Super Bowl, and now their key guy. Pittsburgh from the 7-yard line. Williams. And Williams up to the 12-yard line. D'Angelo Williams, 9 really good seasons with Carolina. Had a tremendous college career at Memphis. He rushed for over 6,000 yards in 4 seasons there. And they knew that they were in trouble in terms of Le'Veon Bell, who was going to get suspended originally for 3 games, now just for 2. They bring him in at 32 years old, second active running back, oldest active running back. Only Fred Jackson is older. Second down and 4. And Williams can go nowhere. He gets taken down by the shoelaces by Chandler Jones, number 95. It'll be third down.
No question, one of the best players on this football team for New England right here, Chandler Jones, had some injury problems last year, just 6 sacks. But by the time it got to the playoffs, he took off. He and Rob Ninkovich, I thought, were brilliant throughout the playoffs. There's Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator. Good young talent, Dante Hightower and Jamie Collins. A lot of guys that can really play on this defense.
Third and 5. Showing blitz, and here they come, and Ben throws, and wrestling it away is Brown, and that's Malcolm Butler. So Butler may have taken care of Ricardo Lockett, but Brown says, not me, baby, not me.
That is as perfect a coverage as you can have, and watch what Antonio Brown, the leading receiver in the National Football League, does. Catches it right off his head. That is unbelievable. He had no chance at that ball. It was almost like what Malcolm Butler did in the Super Bowl. Wow.
From the 22-yard line. Flag. I wonder what the Seahawks are thinking. Man, why couldn't that have been us? Call from Jeffers coming.
Illegal formation offense. Number 68 was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Kelvin Beachum, the left tackle. Go back and look at that catch by Brown again. Phenomenal.
Just with one arm and grabbed, he had the ball in one arm and Malcolm Butler's helmet in the other. He was trying to get his left arm down to the ball, got stuck on his helmet, and he still caught it.
Back to the 17. It's first and 15. Roethlisberger throws. Brown off a little pick there, and Brown to the 20-yard line. Caught 129 passes last season. Let's go to Michelle.
Al, Patriots defensive tackle Dominique Easley has gone to the locker room. He's questionable with a hip. The medical staff was looking at his left side. I'll tell you, when he walked back to the locker room, he walked slowly and very gingerly. So he remains there now. We'll keep you posted.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Second down and 12. I think the Steeler coaches' headsets are okay right now. We were told a couple of minutes ago that they were getting the Patriot radio broadcast in their headsets. Really? Second and 12. Roethlisberger, tough to bring down, but this time he's brought to the turf by Dante Hightower. Ben, one of the toughest guys in the league to sack. He got guys hanging all over him throughout his career, but Hightower had him in his grasp, took him to the turf.
These two inside linebackers find a way to get to the quarterback. I thought it was one of the differences in the end of the season last year, both he and Jamie Collins. And if you're wondering, there is no horse collar in the pocket. So even though Hightower here is going to grab him around the back, that is not a penalty.
Six-yard sack, third and 18. And Ben buys time, throws, and finds Miller, but he may be a little short of the first down. Heath Miller needs 18, gets 17, as they'll spot the ball just short of the 31-yard line. Devin McCourty covering on the play, and they bring in the punting group.
Boy, as a defense, you want to play that line, but that's cutting it awfully close. Nice job by Devin McCourty coming out of center field and making that solid tackle. Devin McCourty made a bunch of solid tackles in the Super Bowl, too, when Marshawn Lynch broke out a few times.
Jordan Berry won the job from Brad Wing in training camp. Wing now with the Giants. Here's Amendola. He'll collect it at the 19. A flag is thrown, though. Amendola brings it back out to the 34. But the flag is there. Matthew Slater involved in the play. Pittsburgh indicating it's against New England. We'll get the call from Chuck. Rush hour. From the 10-yard line. Brady starts his drive from there. Gains to Dion Lewis. And a gain of 8. Just to finish up what we started to talk about, we were told that they were having trouble, the Patriot or the Steeler coaches in their headsets. They were getting the Patriot radio broadcast. You don't think, do you?
Opponents would not call that trouble. They would call that whatever. There is every team that I know of has some story about what happens to them in this stadium. And of course, Deflategate was all part of that, and that's not going to help the fact that they're getting those radio signals in their headset.
You think? Gain of 2. Dion Lewis, of course, there were a spate of stories this week, long-form pieces by ESPN and Sports Illustrated talking about pervasive and persistent cheating that the Patriots have ostensibly done since 2001. The one thing that Belichick has told his team is, hey, forget it, boys. We don't listen to the outside noise. But there's a lot of outside noise.
There's a lot of outside noise, and it's going to be enhanced after this start here. I mean, what are the odds?
And Brady tries to sneak, as he does very often. Patriots had a very stern response to those reports this week. But it's been an ongoing saga in New England. Enough for a first down. Brady able to pick up the inches needed with 1:40 to go. This is what Brady does very often on 3rd, even 4th and short.
Well, Brady's knee did go down, but looks like they felt like it crossed that line. But I tell you, it is unsettling for a visiting team to come in here and have something like that happen. You want to say, okay, we're starting the game, now we're on an equal playing field. But I guarantee you, Mike Tomlin is hot right now.
From the 20-yard line to the outside. Flag is thrown. I mean, at least they should be listening to our broadcast. I mean, the Patriots radio guys are good, but, you know.
I'll tell you who else is pretty good. Dion Lewis is
holding.
Exciting.
Number 77 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Solder's second penalty of the quarter.
You know, it happens so many times to those tackles that, especially when they're not anticipating that the back is necessarily going to bounce outside on them. They're blocking, and then all of a sudden the back jumps and the defensive player makes a move, and the tendency is to just grab, and then you're outside the framework, and here comes the flag.
It's Brandon Bolden, who sets up wide to the right, running back by trade. Brady goes the other way, and that's caught. Taken out at the 19-yard line is Aaron Dobson, the 6'3", 200-pounder from Marshall, tackled there by William Gay.
Well, probably the best pass rusher for the Steelers this preseason right there. James Harrison, 30-plus, I'll just say that. How about that? He is the guy, and like Tomlin saying, you know, he really doesn't like being the leader. He likes being the villain, but can't help himself. All these guys just follow him around like he's the Pied Piper. They all show up at the cold tub at 6:45 because he does.
On 2nd and 11, pump fake by Brady, and then that's caught against the sideline by Julian Edelman, who gets wrestled down by Cortez Allen. It'll be 3rd and short on the first play of the second quarter, because we've played one on opening night. Pittsburgh, nothing. New England, nothing. And NBC's NFL Kickoff Special continues after these messages. Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya, the season opener. No score. Start the second quarter. New England with a 3rd and 2 at its own 28-yard line.
94. 180.
And Edelman takes it. Went in motion. Picked up the first down. Julian Edelman up to the 37-yard line. Let's go to Michelle.
Al, on that communications issue down here on the Pittsburgh side, it was with the coach-to-coach headsets. The word is that they were getting some sort of Patriots radio broadcast bleed into those headsets. While that was going on, the Patriots coach-to-coach headsets were shut off so that things were level for the moment. But right now I'm told that everyone's headsets are up and working well again for the time being. That's according to the NFL, Al.
Thank you, Michelle. Stay tuned. Brandon Bolden gets taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
One of the most exciting young players in the league right here. Watch him shoot this gap in here. Ryan Shazier, I don't know that I've seen a faster linebacker coming out of college. Just has the ability to make big plays. Wasn't healthy a season ago, but they say he has made huge strides this year. And guys like Ryan Shazier and Jarvis Jones are going to have to take big steps if this defense is going to play well.
And the last three number 1 picks, linebackers, up to the 40-yard line, Dion Lewis.
Cam Hayward, The Ohio State.
Steve McClendon, T. Roy.
Stephon Tuitt, Notre Dame.
Arthur Moats, James Madison.
Ryan Shazier, The Ohio State University.
Lawrence Timmons, Florida State.
Jarvis Jones, Georgia. William Gay, Louisville.
Mike Mitchell, Ohio University.
Will Allen, The Ohio State.
Antoine Blake, Missouri City, Texas.
Big question in Pittsburgh, the defense in particular, that secondary. Can they hold up 3rd and 6? And that's caught for another first down. That's Edelman again up to the 49. You saw that Pittsburgh D, and they're under the tutelage of one Keith Butler, the new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, going against the new cornerback, Antoine Blake. They call him Zilla because they say he's just mean. He's a mean, tough guy, and he has his hands full inside. We saw in the Super Bowl as well in the playoffs last year. Very difficult to handle Julian Edelman at the line of scrimmage, but a lot of changes in this secondary, including bringing Will Allen, the veteran, to come in and try and help him with communication.
Lewis swings to the outside, then gets taken down after a short gain. So Dick LeBeau, they did not renew his deal. He moved on to Tennessee, working there with Ken Wisenhunt. Keith Butler, defensive coordinator, was the linebackers coach for 12 years, so he was actually there before Tomlin came in. Bill Cowher hired him, and he stayed on, and now he's the DC.
3 down, 94.
Long-time linebacker during his playing career with Seattle. 2nd and 7, and Brady throws and finds Edelman again to the 35-yard line. Julian Edelman tackled there by Blake and Allen.
Trying to take advantage of this young offensive line up front. Going to come with the old Pittsburgh Steelers cross splits here, but that was a nice job by Dion Lewis coming across and picking it up. Not a big guy, but they say he's stout and he will block, and then you don't get there. Good luck covering Julian Edelman.
Already 4 catches for Edelman tonight. Play fake. Brady gets it away, and he hits Rob Gronkowski. Sooner or later, Gronkowski was going to catch one, and there's his first of the season to the 16-yard line.
Very difficult to cover the seams against Gronkowski, and there's a big hole, and Tom Brady got that one off just in time. Jarvis Jones got close.
And there's Gronkowski again. Touchdown. They come up to the line, they run the play right away, and Gronkowski, back-to-back catches, 90 yards, 13 plays for the first score of the season.
And they've got issues with communication on the back end. Robert Golden is in the game, and he typically is the special teams captain. Plays very little, but he's going to come out of the side here and see that Gronkowski is completely uncovered. They were worried about communication on the back end for Pittsburgh, and now it is come to fruition. That was poorly done. The last 2 or 3 plays with that hurry-up offense gave them problems.
New rule, the extra point now snapped from the 15, the equivalent of a 33-yard field goal, and no issue here on the first official new and Gostowski sends that kick into the night. And Ben, who starts the night 6 for 6 for 63 yards, takes over the...
Come on, let's go. Snap it. I got Gronkowski wide open, and that's a walk-in.
Got the perfect matchup. Williams, the running back. And this time D'Angelo stopped after a gain of 2. Sharp, good start for the Steeler offense tonight, but then a penalty. They tried a trick play with Brown throwing, and since then the Patriots have pretty much stuffed them.
Yeah, but what has been working has been D'Angelo Williams, and what always works is Rob Gronkowski. Kind of one of those guys you definitely want to invite to your party. You know, we've seen up on stage singing and dancing and Doing all kinds of things with a guy that loves life, doesn't he?
Gets around. 2nd and 8 from the 22. Play action, buys time. Ben throws too high, intended for Keith Miller. 3rd down and 8. Take a look at Ben through his career. Number 1 pick back in 04. There are his numbers right there. That's his first 8 years, first 8 seasons. And then with Todd Haley coming in as the offensive coordinator, took a little while for them to get in rhythm, but he's been pretty terrific, especially last season.
They are missing some big-time weapons tonight. Le'Veon Bell in the passing game as much as the running game. And Martavis Bryant, who turned out to be an unbelievable weapon last year with 8 touchdowns, not here.
And the center, Marquise Pouncey. Meanwhile, Roethlisberger is going to go deep downfield, and it will be hauled in by Darius Hayward-Bay. So on a 3rd down and 8, Hayward-Bay at one point figured to be a superstar with Oakland. He was the 7th guy picked in the 09 draft. Really hasn't done much through his career. Now getting another chance here, a 48-yard gain.
Just 3 catches last year, but he can fly. A 4.3 guy, and of course drafted by the Raiders in that situation. And on the other side, Bradley Fletcher, a guy who got beat like that more than a few times last year in Philadelphia.
From the 35-yard line. Back to the ground. Can Williams get outside? Yes, he can, to pick up 5 yards before he's pushed away. Less than 10 minutes to go in the half with New England on top 7-0 and Pittsburgh driving.
Jabal Sheard on the outside, number 93, a guy that they are extremely excited to have, but that is not the first time tonight that we have seen the speed of D'Angelo Williams get outside this defense. And boy, you go to a Patriots practice and all you hear from Belichick is set the edge, set the edge. So far in this game, they've been getting beat on the edge.
Williams, 7 carries for 46 yards. Number 8 is a 2-yard pickup, setting up a 3rd down and 2 at the 28-yard line. 10 seasons in the league for Williams, 9 years in the league for Mike Tomlin. And everybody talking about when he got hired, he won the Super Bowl in the 2nd year. Everyone in the league was saying, find me the next Mike Tomlin.
Ain't one. That was the problem. A lot of young coaches got hired. None of them turned out to be anything close.
Well, in almost a half century, you've had Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. That's it. At the helm of the Steelers. 3rd and 3.
Got Antonio Brown at the bottom, one-on-one if they want it.
Play clock down to 0. Roethlisberger throwing, and that's incomplete. Antonio Brown looks for a flag, doesn't get it. Covered by Butler. And in comes the field goal unit.
I tell you, this Malcolm Butler's making an impression. He's been all over the leading receiver in the National Football League. Now, obviously, Ben was thinking back shoulder throw there. Didn't happen. But Malcolm Butler, that's a long way from being a sub in the Super Bowl, and then all of a sudden now you're covering the number 1 guy. He's the new Darrelle Revis, I guess.
46-yard attempt. Scobie already missed a 44-yarder. No win to speak of, and that one is no good. So Scobie picked up from Jacksonville, but a very auspicious Steeler beginning. 7-0 going on. 8.5 to go in the half. 7-0 New England after a missed Scobie field goal. His second. You got the young guys up front tonight. They drafted a pair of rookies in Shaq Mason and Trey Jackson, each coming in the 4th round. Baptism under fire on opening night. Doing well so far from the 36-yard line. Brady off the play fake, fires over the middle. Edelman. Big night for Julian Edelman. Already 5 catches for him. 1st down.
So far tonight, Tom Brady's getting the protection from that interior 3 of this offensive line. If you're going to beat Tom Brady, typically you have to get him to move laterally. The Steelers would have loved tonight to make Brady step to the side, but that interior 3, they're young, but they're getting the job done.
And on the ground, Lewis can go nowhere. He is stuffed by Jarvis Jones at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
They need a whole bunch of that out of Jarvis Jones this year. They have been very open and honest. Keith Butler, the defensive coordinator, basically saying, it's time. You know, you're a guy. He led the nation in sacks, and we just haven't seen that. Look at the shot he put on Nate Solder there and came in, took care of Dion Lewis as well. If he starts playing like that and Shazier plays the way that he can, this young defense, they get good fast.
Hey, hard.
Brady, before pressure gets there, slings it, caught. Danny Amendola over his shoulder, making the grab, stays in bounds, 1st down.
You play man coverage, you're going to get a pick set right there, and then you're going to get the swing route to Amendola up the sideline. They missed the first one. They don't miss that one. It is a difficult proposition. One of the things that's happening in this game tonight is that William Gay is being asked to play inside because they wanted this hub of veteran communication between Will Allen, William Gay, and Timmons. But you just have to wonder now, is everybody a bit unsettled with their position?
That was a gain of 18. That was the big question coming in for Pittsburgh. Brady gets out of trouble, and that'll be another 1st down to the 20-yard line as Brandon Bolden comes out of the backfield to make the catch. Well, we were talking about it at the beginning, Chris, the fact that the defense in Pittsburgh, that's the big question. You know they're going to score. Very potent offense, especially when, Bell gets back and Bryant, obviously. But that secondary was the key.
Yeah, and what you do not want to see are the mental breakdowns. Mike Tomlin and Keith Butler intentionally made this defense very simple for this game because it was going to be loud and on the road, and so far we've seen those breakdowns.
Good run-pass balance on this drive as Dion Lewis picks up 8 yards.
Well, the other part of this defensively that you have to see out of the Pittsburgh Steelers is Stephon Tuitt and Cameron Hayward. They have to take care of the middle in there.
They go no huddle. Lewis tries to back his way to a 1st down. And then they'll spot it, I think, just a little bit short of the 10-yard line.
Boy, if this young offensive line can play and play well, think about what the future could be here. They've had the 2 tackles, Sebastian Vollmer and Nate Solder, play for a long time here. And now you've got David Andrews and Brian Stork coming off the concussion, Trey Jackson drafted, and Shaq Mason, a very athletic guy on that left side, along with Josh Klein. They're thinking that's a young bunch, could be here for 10 years together.
And now Marcus Cannon in at right tackle. 3rd down, short one. Brady sneaks again. 1st down. And that's going to set up a 1st down and goals. We tick down to 5 minutes left in the half.
Tell you what, Brady's going to take a little shot on this one coming in from his right side, but he has a way. Shazier timed it up perfectly. They double team Cam Thomas, and here comes the Brady chant.
But it wasn't until a week ago that you even knew for certain if Tom was going to play tonight. 1st and goal, popped at the 5-yard line after a gain of about 4 is Edelman William Gay there to make the stop.
All right, here we go. It's tough enough to play against these guys when you've got 11 out there. You show up with 10. And we have seen all kinds of trouble. I don't know what happened exactly. Mike Mitchell was coming in and out of the game for a little while, and so I'm not sure if he got hurt, but the whole thing seems a little out of sync now defensively.
2nd and goal. Bolden is the running back. Brady back in the end zone. Touchdown. Gronkowski, his 2nd. Boy, they made that look pretty easy. 9 plays, 64 yards, 4 rushes, 5 passes, and Gronk to the end zone twice tonight.
Here he's going to come, and you got right there Will Allen. They put him in because of his veteran leadership and communication. They gave him a run formation and then just went right by Will Allen. Don't know how you stop that big guy. I asked Bill Belichick, do you think you'll see cover 2, which basically means the middle of the field open. He said, nobody plays cover 2 against us because they can't cover Gronkowski.
Now the extra point, spotted at the 23-yard line. Gostowski is good. 4:01 remaining in the half. 2 good long drives for the Patriots to make it 14-0. You take a look at the leaderboard there. That's pretty good. Jason Day and Jordan Spieth and Ricky Fowler, who won here last week. Watson is in there. Charlie Hoppen played well down the road. Coming up beginning Thursday, Golf Channel. This is Dree Archer. Has a ton of speed. I can't show you any of it right there to the 17-yard line. So the Pittsburgh Steelers in a hole and trying to get out of it. 3:57 to go in the opening half. Rob Gronkowski came here in 2010, and since then, in terms of proficiency, well, red zone since Gronk got here, 42 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's the 55th overall touchdown pass that Brady has thrown to Gronkowski, and tonight 2 for 2 in the zone and both New England touchdowns. Now the Steelers from the 17-yard line. Ben hits Brown. Brown gets hit by Butler, spins away for another couple of yards, takes it up to the 22-yard line.
This is going to look familiar to a lot of people. This was the old Super Bowl play. Come out with a pick. Brown's going to come, and Butler's going to drive on it. He just played it a little deeper, but he did get a big shot that time on Antonio Brown. A little more effective pick that time for Marcus Wheaton.
2nd and 5. 3.5 left in the half. Draw. Williams. First down. Up to the 31. A flag, however, is thrown at the 20-yard line.
Holding. Number 72 offense. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's the center taking Pouncey's place, Cody Wallace.
Interior guys just aren't used to being in space, and that time it was Cody Wallace who got out. Was going to make a good block, but he just, again, as D'Angelo Williams got to the outside, you just grabbed the outside of it, and you saw Jamie Collins begging for the flag and got it that time. Not a big hold by any means by Cody Wallace on that one, and that hurt.
2nd and 15 from the 12. Miller pulls his way to the 21.
Had a chance to talk to Malcolm Butler about that Super Bowl play, and he said, when I saw him plant that outside foot like that, I knew he was going inside. I drove hard on that thing and just made the play. He said one of the things that was really key for me was seeing that foot move and then the reaction time you're going to see come back in. But he said, I was so angry that that tip ball I was covering landed in the lap of the receiver. I thought I was the go to the game, so I had nothing to lose at that point. I just fired my shot. It ended up working out.
Then he came out on the next play and went back in for you-know-what. Long pass caught by Antonio Brown, and he is out of bounds at the New England 41-yard line. So a big 3rd down conversion. Butler again covering on the play, and we're close to the 2-minute warning. 37-yard gain.
Antonio Brown's not too bad either. That time you don't get a good solid jam on him, and that's an issue. Running that go route from the slot position is so much easier. Let's see if they come back to it.
5 grabs for him. 2-minute warning. 14-0 with the Steelers on, and it's all coming up at halftime. 2 minutes. Pittsburgh has all of its timeouts. The ball at the 42-yard line. First down. And here's Williams. Part of that double trouble with Jonathan Stewart at Carolina for years to the 40-yard line. Roethlisberger leading up to the line. No huddle. Minute 45 in the half.
Steelers been moving the ball all night. They just have to start converting them into points.
They've actually outgained the Patriots 220 to 203, second and 8. Good pocket for Ben, and that's caught by Williams, and Hightower is able to wrestle him down about 3 yards short of the first down inbounds. So it'll be third down. There's plenty of time considering those 3 timeouts. They don't need to take one here. It's third down and 3.
Then they want to send Josh Scobie out there again either.
Ooh, yeah. 0 for 2 tonight.
They got their shot with Antonio Brown again if they want it.
And Ben's going to throw, and it is incomplete, intended for Marcus Wheaton. First time they've gone that way tonight. Terrell Brown, longtime 49er, came over this year, and it's fourth down.
Well, and because you know what Belichick's going to do, he's going to try and take away your top threat, and that's Antonio Brown. So they knew Marcus Wheaton, and they knew Darius Hayward-Bay had to make some plays. Tough play here, but it could have been a real game changer. They just have not been able to do it. Now they're going to go for it here on fourth.
Yeah, Scobie would have to kick a 53-yarder. Roethlisberger has pooch punted in the past. Keep that in mind. 4th and 3. And a whistle before the snap. Timeout had been called by New England.
New England. A 30-second timeout.
Fourth down when we come back. First player to miss 2 field goals for the Steelers since 1970. First player since 70. Alan Watson was the guy then. So Scobie stays on the sideline. Here's Roethlisberger after the New England timeout on the 35-yard line. Throws, and that is caught. Huge first down here, Darius Hayward-Bay, and they'll take a timeout, will Pittsburgh, because had they not, Brady would have had enough time to march down the field again. First down. Back after the timeout, first down, 31-yard line. Steelers have 2 timeouts. Give it to Williams. Nice move to cut it to the inside to the 25-yard line. And Pittsburgh letting the clock run here. Now you're to the point where you're really getting into nervous time, not using a timeout here. That's a lot of time off the clock. 2nd and 5. And Ben is going to throw, and it's caught. No, it's not. It's caught, but out of bounds was Darius Hayward-Bay, and the official comes over to say, you're on the chalk. Meantime, not taking that timeout leaves them with only 13 seconds.
How could they mess this up? There it is. His right foot is on the chalk. Even when they get a layup, this is a layup. There's nobody there.
Well, I understood not taking the timeout earlier, but here, now they're down to 13. They're going to leave a timeout, maybe 2 on the board. In the meantime, they'll take 1 here.
Wow.
With the clock stopped. Well, the clock stopped. Pittsburgh had to take a timeout just to figure out what they're going to do here. It's 3rd down and 5 at the 25-yard line. They have 1 timeout. They don't want to settle for a Scobie field goal here.
The Ben Roethlisberger pump fake on that last one really moved the safety. See if he comes back, and now you're going to get another New England timeout.
Yep. Thousands of fans that lined Boylston Street to celebrate the Patriots' 4th Super Bowl win. 96 degrees here 2 days ago. The snow finally melted. 3rd and 5 from the 26. And Ben under pressure throws, and that's incomplete. Bay looks for a flag and doesn't get it, and it's 4th down. So for the moment, you're going to get Scobie coming out to attempt a field goal of about 44 yards.
Well, Darius Hayward-Bay doesn't play a lot, but anytime you're playing against man-to-man coverage, you don't stop. You've got to make sharp breaks. You've got to try and separate. Antonio Brown on the outside. Another good job by Malcolm Butler. That's been a good battle all night.
44-yard attempt. That was an ugly end to what seemed to be a very promising drive. They have a new holder as well, in addition to Scobie. Jordan Berry, the punter, is the new holder, and that kick is good. So with 3 seconds remaining in the half, it's now 14-3. Well, one person not in attendance tonight is the commissioner, Roger Goodell, who opted not to come, watching on television. I can sort of understand it. I mean, you know, he can argue both sides of it. I'll tell you one thing, if Judge Berman showed up, they would parade him around the stadium in a sedan chair.
We've seen signs around town, free coffee for life for Judge Berman. I read one article that said the only chance the Steelers had was given up when Judge Berman made that ruling. But I tell you, they've hung in there pretty good against this Patriots team, even despite all they're missing on the offensive side.
So Tom Brady, not that he needed any extra incentive or juice or whatever, and, you know, everybody can say, oh, he's mad. I mean, he pretty much approaches every game the same way.
Yeah, when he came out on the field, though, about an hour before the game for his very first appearance in front of this crowd, they went crazy, as you might expect, and he gave it some pretty good fist bumps like he had just thrown a couple of touchdown passes.
Kneel down will end the first half. And the Super Bowl champions on opening night. 2 drives culminating with Gronk. All starts with Carrie Underwood getting us underway. 10th season in 3 nights. Meanwhile here, 14-3. New England on top by 11. And they will get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Scobie. Line drives that one through the end zone. And we'll start at the 20-yard line. Tom Brady tonight completed his last 12. He's 15 out of 17. 2 touchdowns, both to Gronkowski, who's caught 3 overall for 41 yards. Meanwhile, the Steelers, Roethlisberger, 12 of 17 for 166. Many of those to Antonio Brown. 33 straight games with 5 or more catches in an NFL record. That's every game over the equivalent of more than 2 seasons. Brady from the 20-yard line to the outside, and Edelman's having a huge night. That's a gain of 11 and a first down. Julian Edelman, his prime target, 7 for 71 now.
This is not how it's supposed to go for the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight defensively. Even on the first snap after coming out at halftime, they still were having trouble getting lined up with what the New England Patriots were doing.
Through the middle, squirting his way forward for a gain of about 4, Dion Lewis.
Well, Tom Brady, when he came out about an hour before the game, the ovation, as you might expect, was absolutely huge, and Brady was going to contribute to get them going a little bit. Really, the entire first half, I can remember one pass that he missed to Danny Amendola down the sideline, but he was pretty much perfect that first half.
And it's Bolden for a gain of 1. Stopped there by Ryan Shazier. It'll be 3rd down, 3rd and 4.
And here's where they need it. The Pittsburgh Steelers defensively, they need something big to happen here. This is when you start looking to that front 7. This defensive bunch is going to be built around the front 7. They're young on the back end. They're going to make some changes. They're going to try and keep it simple. You need a sack. You need something to happen up front to give this back end a little protection.
Be nice, too, to get a 3rd down stop here. Patriots have converted 4 of 5 on this down. And you can make that 5 out of 6 as Edelman makes his 8th catch of the night to move the chains.
Well, Edelman has beat him across the formation. Now he's coming out the other way and beating him. So for Antoine Blake, here's a special teams guy that played well in the second half of the season, got a chance to come out here and start, and got one of the toughest assignments that you can have. In the slot, Julian Edelman is incredibly difficult to cover.
14 straight completions for Tom Brady. Back to the ground. Big hole, exploiting it. First down. Dion Lewis, talked about him earlier, a guy who came up with Philadelphia, got hurt, has not played at all in a regular season game over the last 2 years.
James Harrison came shooting down inside, and as Shazier tried to come out around on the other side, I think that was Trey Jackson that got him, and so they're firing some shots now. They're just not getting there.
Quick huddle and quickly to the line. Brady on first down from the 44. Pointing out Timmons as the middle linebacker. Lewis again, and Lewis for a gain of 9 to the 35-yard line. You mentioned it before, Chris. Brady telling us the other day, this Lewis could become a cult hero up here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's getting some help by this from this offensive line up front. Trey Jackson, the young right guard, that time with a good block.
And they'll huddle again, and they go this time to Danny Amendola for a first down. Tackled there by Will Allen.
One of the things you do to a defense when you sense that there is a bit of confusion is you go faster. And nobody can go faster than Tom Brady. Now when they make some substitutions, then the Steelers get a chance to catch their breath. There's Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, a guy I think by the end of this season is going to be a head coach in this league.
Yeah, used to be, was it Denver? Says he learned a lot there, came back as an assistant. Figures to be a head man again some days. Brady goes deep and incomplete, but there's a flag, 2 in fact, as if there was any question. Cortez Allen had to reach out and try to stop him by grabbing him.
Pass interference. Number 28 defense. That foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic. First down.
So Cortez Allen takes a shot at Edelman, and let's see what happens. He kind of hooks that hand and doesn't let Edelman get it free. I think Edelman was trying to do what we've seen so much. You can see the interlocked arm there, sort of had it pinned. Edelman tried to make that one-handed play.
28-yard penalty, and now unable to get it in on first down. Bolden, it'll be second down and goal on the opening drive of the second half.
Yeah, and they've got a new use for Shaq Mason, their 4th-round draft pick at guard. He lined up at fullback on that play, just went out of the game. We really like how athletic Shaq Mason is. Kind of came from a run-oriented offense at Georgia Tech, figuring out that pass blocking.
Scott Chandler, the tight end, picked up from Buffalo, was at fullback, now goes into the slot. Gronkowski goes outside. Crowd sensing a pass to Gronk. And they get it. Instead, it goes to Chandler, and he's in for the touchdown. So you put the 2 big tight ends outside, crossing. Chandler goes to the outside. Gronkowski comes inside. And the former Buffalo Bill, now in his 8th year, Chandler, for the touchdown.
The Steelers are being forced now to come up and play tight. But you're asking an inside linebacker, Lawrence Timmons, to cover Scott Chandler. And I think this addition of a second receiving tight end, remember Scott Chandler with the Buffalo Bills, has been a guy that's been one of their leaders, if not their leading receiver there. And you just sort of harken back to the days when they had Aaron Hernandez here. And of course, I don't want to tell that story, but when they had the 2 receiving tight ends, they were almost impossible to stop, and they're working them here tonight.
Belichick loves it. Has a tremendous success with 2-3 tight ends. The extra point is good. So 10:37 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And the Patriots move out to an 18-point lead in Foxborough. "50 years ago, they played the Super Bowl in Los Angeles. Super Bowl won by Green Bay over Kansas City. There is the ring that was presented to the Packers, and on the right is the ring being worn by the Patriots after the victory last year in Super Bowl 49. Price of diamonds have gone up a little bit too. Patriots off to a great start tonight, 21-3. Patriots trying to repeat as Super Bowl champs. It first happened in the first 2 Super Bowls. Bart Starr, Vince Lombardi in 1 and 2. Then you had Miami. The second of those was the perfect season. Pittsburgh did it twice, in the early 70s and then in the late 70s. They won 4 in that decade. The 49ers did it in the late 80s. Jimmy Johnson and Emmitt Smith leading the Cowboys. Mike Shanahan, John Elway rode into the sunset with their 2. And now the Patriots earlier in this century. Can they do it again? Here's D'Angelo Williams off to the races. Out past the 40 to the 48-yard line for a gain of 28 to start this drive.
They have had success running the football here tonight. Just going to hit it right up in here. They've got the double team block going, come off on the linebacker. Good job. And I tell you, D'Angelo Williams, for a guy that maybe Carolina thought had seen his better days, and he was out about 10 games last year with an injury, loses 15 pounds and looks really explosive here tonight. He has not been the issue.
10th year in the league. 82 yards on 10 carries tonight. Roethlisberger fires open, caught Brown, and he takes it to the 19-yard line. So Antonio Brown, that's a gain of 33 and quickly deep into Patriot territory.
Some of this protection inside here has been very good. Picking up that blitz there, David DeCastro. Little double move on the outside. That time got Malcolm Butler. Antonio Brown, he's a handful. Butler turned around and looked for the ball. Antonio Brown was gone.
From the 19. Williams cuts it back through the middle. D'Angelo Williams taking it to the 15-yard line.
You know, I don't think I've seen a team have this many big plays this early in the game and only have 3 points on the board. And it's got to be really frustrating for Mike Tomlin because their game plan is working offensively. They're going up and down the field. They miss field goals. They haven't taken advantage, and Tom Brady keeps taking advantage of every mistake Pittsburgh makes.
Yeah, they're on a pace to gain almost 500 yards tonight. Already 300 early in the third quarter. Here goes Williams through the middle, spins his way down to the 2-yard line. So the Steelers pretty much in desperate need of making this drive pay off, down by 18. Have a first and goal.
Yeah, the versatility of having a Heath Miller. I know he's much older now, but able to get down the field and at least get a hand there on Jamie Collins is a guy that doesn't practice but about every other day, but Heath Miller has been a bit of an institution there in Pittsburgh.
Miller sets up on the right side along with Spate and Wheaton. And they hand the ball off to D'Angelo Williams, seeking room over the left side, tries to back his way in, stopped a little short of the goal line. Second down and goal upcoming.
One of the things that D'Angelo Williams talked about, he said, I'm so much better a runner now than I used to be because I used to run with my feet and not my brain. Now I know how to press the hold, be patient, take care of it. And he said that's the thing that impressed me most about Le'Veon Bell. It took me 10 years to figure that out, and this guy comes in the league day one and seemed to have it figured out.
Second down and goal. They bring Will Johnson in.
Got both backs in.
Right, the fullback now playing the running back spot. Roosevelt Nix, a rookie in New England, will take a timeout. Belichick took a look at
a 30-second
how
timeout.
Pittsburgh lined up and says, give me that TO. It's interesting, and I think you summed it up perfectly, Chris, the fact that Pittsburgh is moving the ball. They just can't cash in. You get the 2 missed Scobie field goals, opportunity at the end of the half, bogged down. They need a touchdown here, though.
Yeah, and Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski, we saw it all last year as well. I mean, teams just can't match up. You want to try and play some one-on-one, because if you don't, if you play off against Tom Brady, he just goes dink, dink, dink right down the field. I think in the Super Bowl, I think the first 20 passes were underneath until he finally threw one deep. So you got to get in their face, but you get in their face, hard to cover those 2 guys.
Look at Julian Edelman there. Pittsburgh to the 1-yard line, and trying to bull his way in is Johnson, but he does not cross the plane. So it's 3rd and goal. And Roethlisberger trying to go quick, trying to tell the bench, don't send anybody in here. New England trying to make a defensive change. They can't. Ben on a 3rd down and goal. And again, Johnson. And this time, Johnson is able to get into the end zone. Will Johnson, the fullback, running out of the tailback spot behind Nixon to go 80 yards in 7 plays to get right back in it.
Late shift down here actually worked to the Pittsburgh Steelers' favor. They sort of went out of the hole and created just enough room there for Will Johnson to get up and over the top. Another good block in there by Heath Miller. That was much needed, and now the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the better teams at converting two-point conversions. Now they're going to maybe take a look at that elbow. It was down, but no, they're going to let them fire here.
They're going to go for 2 to try to make it a 10-point game. Under Tomlin, as you can see, a lot of success. Keep in mind, too, if somehow the defense winds up with the football and runs it all the way back, they get 2 points. New rule. Roethlisberger trying to make it 21-11. Inside fake pass is taken in by Marcus Wheaton for the conversion. And Ben slightly limping as he goes to the sideline. 21-11. The drive, the touchdown set up by the pass to Antonio Brown. 10-point game. All right, Ben Roethlisberger needed a little bit of attention, came to the sideline, looks okay right now, was able to get his foot out of the ground, Chris.
Yeah, luckily so, and Ninkovich got him and sort of rolled up on that ankle, and I go, oh boy, they'll have an army of doctors over to look at him. Nobody did, It's Ben Roethlisberger. I guess they just say he'll be fine.
Tough as they come. Michael Vick is the backup quarterback, signed him a couple of weeks ago. Kickoff through the end zone, so Brady goes back to work again with 6:43 left in the third, 21-11. Later tonight, Jimmy Fallon welcoming guests Andy Samberg and Carrie Underwood, who will open up our season of Sunday Night Football. Tonight show with Jimmy Fallon tonight on NBC. Beautiful shot downtown Boston, Massachusetts on this Thursday night. 64 degrees in Foxborough. Tom Brady has completed his last 16 passes. Lewis. Dion Lewis. 14 yards over the right side. People wondering, who are they going to use at running back? Blunt is suspended. They let Gray go. This guy takes over.
Watch the move here on the outside. I mean, there are certain guys you just can't block, right? You just got to make somebody miss, and he certainly did with Antoine Blake.
And Brady leads him right to the line, and then Edelman juggles it. It's one of the rare times tonight he can gain no yardage, in fact loses some, as William Gay makes the tackle.
Dion Lewis, really kind of a remarkable story. He was injured in 13, was out of football last year, didn't play at all, and all of a sudden you're the starting running back for the world champions? Yeah, go figure. I mean, they've got stories like that all the time in New England. Just nothing falls between the cracks with these guys.
Freshman year, University of Pittsburgh.
Fair.
Second down and 16 after the loss of 6. Four-man rush, good protection, pass caught up to the 40-yard line to turn a 2nd and long into a 3rd and short is Julian Edelman.
Well, and it's great having young offensive linemen up there. It's even better when you have a young offensive line and Tom Brady. I mean, he just does not hold the football. He's not going to make them look bad. We've seen Peyton Manning over the years, the same sort of deal. But these guys up front are doing a nice job. David Andrews and Trey Jackson, Shaq Mason. Those young guys are doing their job.
And 3rd and 4, here comes the blitz through the middle, and Brady gets buried by Will Allen. Safety blitz, found a hole on the inside, and buries Brady, 4th down.
Finally got something going here, coming off of right here. You come up, and then Tom Brady just doesn't see it. It was a nice job of disguise by Will Allen. He stayed deep enough that Brady wasn't suspicious and just never saw it coming. Dick LeBeau would have been proud of that one.
Ryan Allen to punt, and Antonio Brown, dangerous anytime he has his hands on the ball, will get it to the 24-yard line. Tries to go back the other way. Good coverage by the Patriots special teams group. Tackle made at the 27-yard line. A 10-point game with 4:15 left in the third on opening night 2015. the founding family, the Rooneys. There's Dan on the left, who was the ambassador to Ireland and quit that post in 2012. And Art Rooney II, watching their team, having scrambled back in the game, trying to cut it even further. Williams goes to the outside, breaks tackles, and runs out of bounds after picking up a first down. A huge night for Williams, taking over for Le'Veon Bell in his Steeler debut. He's now gained 111 yards.
Well, they're trying to come up and create some problems, but every time they try to squeeze down D'Angelo Williams, he keeps beating them to the outside. You just don't see Patriot defenses historically give up the edge the way that they have tonight. D'Angelo Williams has been sensational.
15 carries, add a yard to that total. Officially 112. If you have him in your fantasy team, you have a great night. Here he goes again. And he picks up about 5 more up to the 44-yard line. 3.5 to go in the third.
These guys are in position on the outside, and I think he is surprising them. Maybe they watched some of his Carolina tape when he was at 230. He's a different-looking guy.
And we asked him how he lost weight. He said it's all diet. He says, I'm a Southern kid. I used to love fried foods. Just stop eating.
So we fried everything down there. He really is a funny guy. He's a great guy to have a conversation with.
Very. 2nd and 5. Here he goes again, swinging to the outside. Can he turn the corner? No, not that time. That is Terrell Brown, longtime 49er. First year with the Patriots, picked up as a free agent to make sure he doesn't turn the corner.
Yeah, and Terrell Brown is going to have a bigger and bigger role this year. All those years with the 49ers and the Raiders. And Matt Patricia knows that this is going to be a growing experience. Rodney Harrison talks about they start very simple in the secondary and build and build and build and put more things in. But it'll be Terrell Brown with a big role on this team.
3rd and 6. This main man Brown, bottom of the screen. He's been with Butler one-on-one all night. Cuts over the middle, does Brown. Roethlisberger throws, hits Brown, and Brown takes the ball into New England territory to the 45-yard line.
Ben Roethlisberger must have looked at 4 different receivers here. He looked left and then back right and then just sort of flipped it over the top. That has been some battle tonight. Look at this offensive line, and they're playing without their leader, Marquise Pouncey, up there. You've got to have a lot of protection in order to hold the ball, and look at that many people. Great job up front.
From the 45, Wheaton is the motion man. Play clock at 5. Buys time. Look at that time. Going deep, and it is caught. It is Wheaton somehow getting both feet in. Working the sideline, makes the grab, gets both feet in. Big gain, 26 yards.
I thought that Devin McCourty was going to pick that thing off, but Ben basically threw it out of bounds, and somehow Marcus Wheaton catches it out of bounds and gets his feet back in. We have seen some tremendous plays down the field tonight.
D'Angelo Williams back in. And threading his way through. The 32-year-old running back takes it for a gain of 6.
Let's just go back to the protection now. 2 plays in a row for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Ben Roethlisberger, he's just holding it. Nobody is even pressuring him. 5.26 seconds in the NFL. That is a lifetime. We talked about Marcus Wheaton. He had to make some plays tonight without Martavis Bryant in there. And he stepped up, so is Darius Hayward-Bay.
Final minute of the quarter. 2nd down and 5 from the 13. Ron Foster looking back at Roethlisberger. Protected well again. Pass caught. This is Miller taking the ball to the 8-yard line. 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal. Patrick Chung made the tackle.
You know, you want to say the tide is really turning here, but I don't know that it is. Pittsburgh's been moving the ball like this up on down the field all night long. They just weren't converting, and well, they're starting to have some opportunities to convert anyway.
382 total yards. It's a lot in 3 quarters for Pittsburgh. 21-11 into the 3rd. 10-point game. Back after these messages. Statistical update for each team as we go to the fourth quarter. Time of possession, 24-27 for the Steelers, who led the league in that category last year. Start the fourth. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya, Foxborough, Massachusetts, with a first and goal for the Steelers from the 8. Pistol formation this time. Short shotgun, and Williams goes nowhere. First time they have lined up with that set. Second down and goal.
One of the things you'll see a lot of is Dante Hightower come shooting. I think this is him right here, shooting through the gap here. He tries to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and then it gives some of their guys along that defensive line, that time Rob Ninkovich, a chance once the back gets diverted to then make the play.
Second and goal. Miller comes in motion to the slot. Ben rolling, keeping. Little shovel goes to Miller. He gets about half the distance to the 4-yard line. It'll be third and goal from that spot.
Sort of a semi-shovel pass, and not so sure Ben couldn't have just walked that one into the end zone. Nobody seemed to really think it was a real run fake. He was looking back inside and well defensed.
He's got Brown to his right, spreads him out. Pittsburgh goes 5 wide on third down and goal. In the pocket, then sliding left, throwing, flag thrown. Trying to get Miller, and you got Patrick Chung with his back to the pass, and flags all over the end zone. 3 of them.
Just a great play by a veteran there. He
Pass
knew.
Number 23 defense. That foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
Ben really had nothing. There was nobody open. Here's Heath right here. And he realizes this ball's underthrown. Watch him just wrap his arms back around Patrick Chung like, I'm trying to get to the ball. He's not looking back at the ball. That is automatic. You didn't even have to think about it. It was going to be pass interference. Well done.
It's three flags on the play. All for the same infraction. First and goal from the 1. Johnson, no. They fake it to him, and the pass out of the end zone. So Johnson went through the middle. Good play fake by Roethlisberger, and then he throws it out of the back of the end zone. Second down and goal.
Well, the play fake, everybody in the house knew what that was going to be. He extended his arm and then just sort of relaxed after he did that. Great job defensively by the Patriots to not fall for that. That one's the easiest one to really believe he made that handoff.
Second and goal. You still have Johnson as the back. And this time he bulls forward. Officials come in and take a real close look. But they're going to spot it inches shy of the goal line. Third and goal.
Roosevelt Nix is the new fullback now, and their former fullback, Will Johnson, is in there at tailback, so a lot of beef. Nix was a 4-time All-MAC defensive lineman, now playing on the offensive side. Kept getting cut, so they moved him to fullback. And he is a force there.
Same formation. Oh, Johnson is the tailback. Movement on the left side, and that's going to cost them 5.
I'll bet you Ben says.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, third down.
The shift got him to jump, but I'm gonna guess Ben's saying they screamed out something and simulated a snap count inside there, and that's why they jumped. Now, I don't know if they did or they didn't, but back in the day, that's the thing that the umpire would have been listening for in there.
Will not win the argument. It's going to move him back to the 5-yard line. It's going to put Williams back into the game, flanking Roethlisberger in the gun on third and goal. Play clock at 3. They need a snap. They give it to Williams, and Williams gets taken down to the line of scrimmage. Barely got the play off. Been better served had they not.
Yeah, Jabal Sheard, though, paying his first dividend coming out of Cleveland. He's going to come out and right back in here and make this play. Did not fool him. He is an outstanding run player, and they think he's going to add a little edge for this pass rush as well. They are pretty excited about Jabal Sheard coming to the Patriots.
Scobie now a 24-yarder. His two longer ones tonight. Hit on a short one at the end of the half. And he turns it into a one-possession game. With 11:39 left in regulation, 21-14 champions. Patriot Place right across the parking lot. Fans can come in, celebrate the Super Bowl wins. Done a great job here.
You know, I think it's a pretty good sign for the Pittsburgh Steelers that they've come out early in this one defensively, at least had a stop, and offensively, even without some of their biggest stars in this game here tonight, they've still been able to move the football very effectively.
And it looked like they were buried down by 18, but back to a one-possession game. Bouncing ball is collected up at the 13-yard line by Michael Williams. And he brings it to the 22 with 11:34 left. 7-point Patriot lead. The opener of the NFL season. 7-point game. Tom Brady, who's completed 18 straight passes, goes 5 wide here on first down from the 21-yard line. And wide open, Gronkowski. How did he get that open? And like a big truck rolling down a highway, takes the ball all the way to the 28-yard line. 52 yards.
Just a completely blown coverage out here. There's nobody in the middle of the field. The safety goes to the other way. I mean, it's unbelievable how much the Pittsburgh Steelers have given away tonight.
Brady quickly to the line, has time, floats one, just off the hand of Julian Edelman. Incomplete, second down and 10. How do you get that wide open?
Well, here's the very next play, and there he is again. So this has been a bit of an effort here tonight defensively, and yet here they are still hanging around and still with a chance to win this football game. They just have to come up with yet another play. They got away with the safety blitz, came up with a sack. Maybe they just have to start trying to come after Tom Brady.
That ended Brady's streak. He completed 19 straight. The NFL record is 22 in one game, 22 straight. So Dion Lewis takes the ball now to the 22-yard line. Tom Brady so clutch, of course, throughout his career. You go back to last year in the Super Bowl, and they were down by 10, and you look at those numbers in the fourth quarter. 2 touchdown passes and a third MVP award against the Seahawks, the number 1 defense in the league. Third down and 5 from the 22. Clean pocket, pass is caught, breaking a tackle, taking it inside the 10, then losing the ball, but there is Gronkowski. Lewis lost the ball, but Gronkowski alertly is there. Amendola signals touchdown. We'll wait for the officials. Touchdown. The break of breaks. Lewis breaking tackles, trying to get into the end zone, and Gronkowski is right there for the hat trick.
Watch this throw by Tom Brady. How precise, out in front. I mean, within inches of where it had to be to beat Lawrence Timmons on the play, and now Lewis is going to cough it up, a chance for the Steelers, and guess who? That was a perfect throw, and now we're starting to see what Dion Lewis can do. He thought he was going to score, got a little loose. That was Mike Mitchell ripping that thing out of there, and they just couldn't find it. My goodness gracious. Rob Gronkowski just...
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under review.
Well, they're going to see if Gronkowski recovered the ball in the end zone. All scoring plays are reviewed. The verdict when we come back. If you have Gronk in your fantasy league, sorry about that, but they're going to take this touchdown away and make it 1st and goal.
The New England player did recover the ball, but he recovered the ball short of the goal line and was down by contact at the 6-inch yard line. It will be 1st and goal, New England.
So Gronkowski back to 2 touchdowns, not 3. 1st and goal, inches away.
Yeah, the ball was on the line, but that was Will Allen sort of swatted it back, tried to get it back to one of his guys, and then down by contact from there.
So normally a place where Brady would try to sneak it in himself. We'll see.
He is going to face 2 really big guys if he tries to do that. Daniel McCullers and Steve McClendon will be right in the middle.
Instead he gives it to Brandon Bolden, and Bolden over right guard, and he cannot get in. It'll be 2nd down and goal. A little under 10 minutes to play in regulation.
These are 2 monsters inside, and I'm sure Tom Brady's thinking, I think I'll turn around and give it to somebody else here. We've seen really good movement the entire game by that front, but that time those 2 big guys took advantage of the young guys in there.
And Mason as the fullback. Bolden as the running back. Chandler will win to the left side, and Brady will throw that one, but that will be caught out of the end zone by Gronkowski. So ain't easy getting in. 3rd and goal.
Will Allen with a fool me once kind of a play there. He needed to make that one. Forced Tom Brady to lob that one up a little too high. But Dupree about took Brandon Bolden's head off, and then by the time his feet come down, both out. There's the rookie. Boy, they draft a lot of outside linebackers in the 1st round around here.
Chandler is the fullback. Bolden is the running back. Chandler now splits inside Gronkowski on 3rd and goal. And they'll throw a fade, and this time Gronkowski does have the touchdown. Had to put the linebacker Garvin on him, and he just couldn't handle him. So Gronk eventually gets into the end zone.
Yeah, you have no choice. You got to put your goal line defense in there. Terrence Garvin out there, and now he's going to say, "Ruh-roh, here they come," and everybody in the house knew where the ball was going. Once you put an inside linebacker out there, a goal line linebacker, you just throw it up. At the very least, you got to try and put some hands on that guy to disrupt him a bit. We heard all week they were going to try and get hands on Rob Gronkowski, but that was a no-win situation for Garvin there.
4 touchdowns for Tom Brady tonight. 4 touchdown passes. Gostowski for the extra point. So New England was able to limit Pittsburgh. Gronkowski was hurt. When he got healthy, away they went. 10-2 down the stretch, and then the 3 wins in post.
That Logan Mankins trade unsettled them in the offensive line for a while.
Now Williams, and Angelo Williams continues his big night. Gain of 7 yards for him.
Well, they have not missed Le'Veon Bell. I mean, let's just say that. D'Angelo Williams has been sensational. I'd say if they miss somebody tonight is Martavis Bryant. All this man coverage all over the field, and you got a guy 6'4" who runs in the 4.35 range, can go up and get some balls. It would have been nice to have that big guy on the outside, but the receivers overall for the Steelers tonight have done a nice job.
A little light rain falling and some heavy rain before the game, not much during it. And that pass is incomplete over the middle. Antonio Brown. Collins was there covering. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, that was not one of those fun ones if you're a receiver. Ben Roethlisberger led him right into Jamie Collins, their little linebacker here. He is going to drop back into coverage. And if this ball had been complete, it would have been a major headache for Antonio Brown.
3rd and 3 with 8:40 left in the 4th.
This might be 4-down territory here for the Steelers, the way the Patriots are moving the ball.
And Roethlisberger throws, and we'll see what they're going to decide to do, whether they punt or do go for it. Going to send the field goal unit out a little too early to go for it this deep in their own territory. 4th and 3.
I thought they might actually run the football there and see what happened. You know, okay, your running game's going great. You might pop one, And then if you do, or if you just get close, then you make a decision. But a lot of time left in it.
Jordan Berry, good preseason, won the job from the incumbent Brad Wing. You got a flag at the snap, very short kick. Fair catch made at the 36, and another flag comes in at the end as well.
Of course, if it's against the Patriots, it'd be a first down.
Right, it was 4th down and 3. You got to huddle back at about the 30 with Carl Sheffers. Defensive foul, as you say, Chris, a first down. Brady warming up on the sideline, and it's going to wind up being against, well, you got 2 flags, so you're going to get offsetting here. So regardless of the outcome, won't be a first down.
Is that where is Roger?
It might be. I'm trying to decipher that. I think that is.
I gotta say, I agree with him.
Offense. That foul is disregarded. Holding number 53 of the return team. That penalty will be enforced. 10 yards. First down.
Well, there was the first ever "Where is Roger" chant. You know, if he came to the game tonight, where are we going to put him?
Right in the middle of that crowd.
Oh, you're right. I think anybody who knows Tom Brady expected him to come out tonight and play extremely well, and he has not disappointed. 24-28, 4 touchdowns. Another super night for Brady, who now figures to slow down the pace a little with a 14-point lead and 8.5 to go. From the 26, they start with a run by Lewis. You know, Brady, and we've known him a long time, Chris, is able to compartmentalize a lot of stuff, and he had to over the last 7 months. But, I mean, the wounds are still there.
Yeah, and I asked him point blank. I said, did you destroy your cell phone? And if so, why? And, you know, he didn't mince any words. He said, my representative said, no way are you turning over your cell phone. They have no right to your cell phone whatsoever. And he said, I delete all my messages anyway. So even if they'd have gotten it, what difference would it have made?
Meanwhile, there's Gronkowski going down the sideline, and it's no good because he is out of bounds. So that is incomplete. They'll bring that one back, and it will be 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, and just to finish the story, so he said, you know, they had all those texts anyway with Jastrzemski and Jim McNally and the guys in question. They had their phone, so it wasn't like they didn't have it. So he was all fired up. Then at the end of it, he goes, I cannot believe that you guys got me sucked back into those emotions. But we saw just how raw it was from Tom Brady. And then he sort of just took a deep breath and settled back in and came out and played like Tom Brady always does.
3rd down and 12. Well, Brady had some interesting comments, I'm sure, in his post-game press conference. Belichick will say we're on to Buffalo. That's where they go next week. 3rd and 12. Rain coming down harder now. Avoided the rain most of the game. And Brady now in the pocket, and that's one knocked down at the line of scrimmage to make it 4th down. So Pittsburgh needing a quick 3 and out, and that's exactly what they got.
Yeah, good job by Lawrence Timmons on that one, getting his hands on the football. Exactly what they needed. Almost no time taken off the clock, and the decision to punt on the last one for the Steelers, the right one.
Allen's punt. Brown has to back up as a flag down. Brown catches it on the run going backwards. It turns it into a decent run back. But a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. It was 4th down and 12.
I think they're going to have a little motion. That's an interesting call there. Do you want to add 5 to that or have them repunt that one? I think you're going to have them repunt it.
Yeah, because the punt
was too good.
62 yards.
5-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
Yeah, you don't want it to be a 57-yard net punt. Sunday Night Football. And it comes your way in 3 nights as we take our traveling circus down to the Lone Star State. Football night starts things at 7 Eastern Time. The New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. played some real beauties over the years. Hard to believe that stadium. This is what, the 7th year?
Yeah, and if you remember early on, the Giants kind of dominated when that stadium opened. I think they won at least 2 in a row down there.
Right.
I should know. We did them all.
Including the opener. They begin to run together a little bit. This time Allen's punt, a much shorter one, and it will be fair caught at the 35-yard line by Antonio Brown. So we are halfway through the 4th quarter. You know, the one thing about the Patriots, too, I mean, and you got to bring it up, the fact that you have all this stuff, it's a never-ending thing. You had the 2 long-form pieces that I mentioned before coming out this week. Sometimes too much winning breeds contempt. And there's no question there are some teams in the National Football League that don't like the Patriots for a lot of reasons.
You know, who knows? We had a conversation with 15 opinionated guys the other night, and nobody had strong feelings about what really happened in this whole situation. There's just unanswered questions everywhere.
Roethlisberger throwing, and open is Wheaton, and he picks up a first down in Patriot territory, spotted at the 46-yard line.
Well, now you're starting to see the Patriots back up and give a little room, so there's plenty of room out here to the corner route. You know, this is a young secondary for New England growing up as well, and I think Ben's taken advantage of them just a bit here tonight. They desperately need this drive and need it to happen fairly quickly.
Good protection. Going long into double coverage and intercepted. Inside the 10-yard line, Duron Harmon coming over from the safety spot. Help over the top. Picks it off.
It helped that Duron Harmon was moving in that direction. Here he is here. He moves that way, but he had a running start on that ball because they were doing that rotation. He was moving that way, gave him a great jump, and was there to make the interception. Much better job that time as well by Bradley Fletcher. He was all over Darius Hayward-Bay. Not easy to throw those deep balls in the rain either.
So with exactly 7 minutes now, it's the first interception of the NFL season, and through the middle goes Dion Lewis. Last year, the Patriots, take a look at that. Over the last 9 games, 6 in the regular year, all 3 in post. 4th quarter touchdowns allowed, zip.
You got top end quarterbacks in those playoff games as well, and it just didn't happen.
Overcame a 10-point deficit in the Super Bowl, 2 14-point deficits against the Ravens in the divisional game. And Gronkowski signals a first down, but he's not going to get it. It'll be 3rd down and inches and a penalty.
You know, but this game really shifted with that goal line stand by the Patriots when the Steelers were down to the 1-yard line, and then they jammed it in from the 1-yard line.
Number 28 defense, 5-yard penalty automatic. First down.
Call that one on Cortez Allen. Tomlin will take his team back home. They have their home opener a week from Sunday against San Francisco.
Well, I would say the issue for the Pittsburgh Steelers coming in was their young secondary. I think it's the same issue going out. I think you have to feel pretty good about what this offensive line did, even without Pouncey. Roethlisberger has been sharp tonight. Good play from the receivers, but they're not the first ones that couldn't stop Tom Brady.
Offensively, a couple of missed field goals, which has very little to do with the offense itself, but not very good in the red zone.
Well, one of the big questions with Brian Stork out there starting center, could this guy, David Andrews, hold up? And I think he's played an excellent game. He was a college free agent, undrafted, but he was the MVP at the University of Georgia and their team captain. So here's a guy that got to play all the preseason and got a lot of experience. They played together, and for a guy that went undrafted and started for the world champs, I have to say that was pretty well done.
Brady on 2nd and 9 goes to the sideline. Edelman spins around, and again is able to put his head down, stays in, and gets the first down. Great opening night for Edelman, who's now caught 11 passes for 97 yards.
You know, you go back to the playoffs a year ago, and all he did in the playoffs was catch 8 against the Ravens, 9 against the Colts, and 9 in the Super Bowl. And maybe the biggest play that nobody talks about was that 3rd down and 14 when they absolutely had to have something going. And he made that catch and just got absolutely drilled by Cam Chancellor.
His arm was pretty good too.
Yeah, really. That throw to Amendola was huge.
In the Baltimore game, meanwhile, Will Allen comes off the field. Stop the clock momentarily. We expected a lot of rain tonight, didn't get it, but now it's coming down pretty good.
How happy do you think Tom Brady is right now?
On a scale of 9.4.
I've got some really smart aleck remarks. I'm going to keep
I don't
myself.
know. I'm talking to myself here. Brandon Bolden up to the 30-yard line. And the Patriots can begin to think about chewing up the clock. It'll be 2nd down. Matt Patricia.
Boy, is he a good guy.
Yeah.
A smart guy, a science guy, and fell in love with football. And he is, he said it was the loneliest feeling he'd ever had in his life when they were down on that 1-yard line and Belichick wouldn't talk to him and they're screaming to Coach, do you want us to take a timeout? And he doesn't say, he goes, no, just play it. I'm not giving them a break. It ended up working out perfectly. He knew with that goal line defense in, if they were going to beat him, probably had to throw the ball, and that was his best chance.
Brady eats up all of the play clock before giving it to Lewis. Gotta love that Patricia look too. You know, the full beard, hat backwards. Want to make sure the defense sees them all in red, and of course the number 2 pencil, a la Belichick.
Yeah, well, some things you have to do when you come here to coach. So there we go with the rookie free agent David Andrews in there again, and that is a big man he is going against. Able to get some movement and keep this running game going. One more first down, and Steelers have issues.
And 3rd and 4. Brady approaching 300 yards, a little floater, and that is incomplete. Lob pass, incomplete, intended for Lewis, and New England will punt it away.
Boy, the Steelers got away with one there. They didn't have anybody at all in coverage, and now Ben's going to get one more shot.
Ryan Allen with his 4th punt of the night. Antonio Brown. Well, he could change things in a hurry if he gets loose. But Allen's not going to allow that. Flag is down, and that one will bound into the end zone. But a flag down at the line of scrimmage. It was 4th down and 4. The penalty was against Pittsburgh, would be a first down. But it's going to be against New England. They're going to go over and explain the options here to Tomlin again. You had a touchback.
Yeah, I think he's saying it was a hold on them, so you can march them back and make them kick it again. But you're taking time off that clock, too.
Kicking team, 10-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. First down. Pittsburgh.
I'm not sure I wouldn't have made him kick again just so that Brown could get a chance to run it back.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Get it out to the 30, so not all bad.
Yep. So a tick under 3 minutes to play. Pittsburgh with 2 timeouts. Make it 3. So Roethlisberger has the time. And we'll see what he can do.
See if he can move them around with those pump fakes. We were asking him about those pump fakes the other day, and he said, 60 to 70% of them are balls I'm actually intending to throw that I just hold on to. I changed my mind at the last minute. It's not some intentional pump fake to move guys. I'm really thinking about throwing it.
A little harder to do it in this weather. There goes Ben, escaping, extending as he does so brilliantly and has through the years incomplete. Intended for Miller, second down.
It was really fun to watch the Patriots practice what Ben does best, extend those plays, and they're screaming, stay on your guy, chase your guy, and they would make them cover for 6 or 7 or 8 seconds down the field and back up, because so many times when Ben gets in that scramble mode, he wants the big play. He doesn't want something little, and so you'll see their defensive backs, they weren't flinching at all despite how long it took to get that play off.
Hey, Mike, 23, right.
Play clock at 3. Second and 10, looking off, looking the other way, comes back this way to the left side, and that is Darius Hayward-Bay. And spotted, looks like a little short of the first down. Clock keeps on running. And it's going to be 3rd down and inches.
And Darius Hayward-Bay kind of collapsed on the tail end of that play. He should have had that first down.
And meanwhile, precious seconds come off the clock as well. 3rd and inches. A lot of seconds. And that's caught. That's Miller. Miller will take the ball to the 46-yard line. They want to take a timeout on this side of the 2-minute warning.
They got to go. They got to go. They got to get another play off here.
I think you got to take a timeout on this side of the 2-minute warning. Otherwise, you got the 2-minute warning. An opportunity to get an extra play in, pretty much like the end of the first half. Not very good clock. Sunday night in Arlington, Texas.
Looking forward to hearing Carrie too. Kind of missed her tonight. We don't get it on Thursday night. I didn't know that.
Nope, not part of her deal. From the 46. Roethlisberger, the deep drop, deep pass into a lot of traffic. And it's incomplete. 3 Patriots converging on Marcus Wheaton. 2nd down and 10.
Devin McCourty right there. And Devin McCourty was one of those guys in high demand. He was a lot of people interested in him. Patrick Chung, there's McCourty, and McCourty converted over from a corner, but one of the things you always worry about taking a corner to a safety position is will they tackle, and well, he had some one-on-ones that he had to make against Marshawn Lynch in that Super Bowl, and he managed to get him on the ground. It was impressive.
Ben dumps it over the middle, but only a tiny gain and trying to get out of bounds and unable to do it. It's Hayward-Bay, Bradley Fletcher corralling him. Clock keeps running. 1:40 left.
They keep having to switch sides of the field. A lot of times in the hurry-up offense, you don't see those guys having to go back and forth. They just get wherever, and that's eating up a lot of clock.
Ton of time coming off the clock. 3rd down and 8. And Ben will convert. That's Brown making the catch. He's inside the Patriot 40 for a 1st down. And a timeout taken.
Timeout, Pittsburgh. A 30-second timeout.
By the Steelers. So it's opening night, game 1 of 256. Another big night for Brady. Starts the year with 4 TDs. Gronkowski catching 3 of those passes. Meanwhile, D'Angelo Williams, great job in relief of the suspended Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown, 33 straight games over 2 years' worth. Every game with 5 or more catches.
Pretty remarkable, really. There's a guy that over the last 2 years, more catches than anybody in the National Football League. Slight guy with a big smile, very pleasant to be around.
6th round draft choice back in 2010 out of Central Michigan. And Ben sends one deep down the sideline, and that is caught, but a flag is thrown back behind the line of scrimmage, and that will stop the clock with 1:10.
Well, you've got one player for the Patriots, Javal Sheard, with his helmet off. Don't know if somebody knocked it off or not.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Number 68 offense. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
That's the left tackle, Kelvin Beachum.
Let's take a look. 68 right there in your screen. He definitely hit the helmet, but kind of as he was going down, you know what I mean? It looked like he sort of slipped on the play and then takes away this, which would have given the Steelers a chance.
Glancing blow, but
he's still yelling.
1st and 20 from the 49-yard line. 4-man rush, and Roethlisberger, it's all he can do to hold on to it, and another helmet comes to play. That Sheard must just barely have his helmet. That's the second play in a row, and he gets credit for the sack.
Yeah, man doesn't need a helmet. It's going to come right around the end here. That's a pretty good pass protector out there in Kelvin Beachum, too. And look at the way he uses his hands. They have been working a lot with his technique here. They think physically he has all the tools, and they can just upgrade that technique a little bit. He's going to be scary.
And Ben just finding anybody, so he goes to Miller. Heath adds to his collection of catches over the years. He's up near the top of the charts, and that's at the 38-yard line. They needed 27, got 18, so it's still 3rd down and 9. Brady, most wins as a starting quarterback for one team, 160, and Favre with 160, but tonight add 1 in 27 official seconds, and that will put him atop that leaderboard.
And Heath Miller, now the second all-time leading receiver, passes John Stallworth tonight with 8 catches. Ways to go to get to Hines Ward, though.
Yeah. Our man Hines. An even 1,000. 3rd and 9. Ben dancing and throwing, and that's incomplete. Setting up 4th down, intended there for Wheaton. So New England will start the year with a victory. They will go to Buffalo next week, and of course that means one Rex Ryan meeting Belichick. There's Robert Kraft, the owner of this team. Bought him in the mid-90s. Has watched them go to 7 Super Bowls, 4 wins, 3 losses.
No denying what that guy's done for this organization.
Well, and for the league itself. 4th down and 9 from the 38-yard line. And Roethlisberger escaping, looking, firing, and it's caught at the 22-yard line for a 1st down, and they'll take a timeout. One other thing about Bob Kraft, just to bring it up, I asked him about his relationship with Roger Goodell. I mean, he's always been Goodell's biggest booster among the owners. You know, it's a two-sided thing. He's got to wear 2 hats. One is as the owner of this team, he hates what's happened over the last 7 months. Hates it. Thinks it was unnecessary. On the other hand, Kraft is so important an owner because he's on the television committee, the relocation, finance, all of the rest. So he and Goodell have to do a lot of business together on that end. And you talk about compartmentalizing things, that's what Kraft has to do.
Yeah, and let's face it, there's a lot of pressure from a lot of people around the league who think the Patriots don't always play by the rules. So the minute something came up, it was, hey, you got to go get these guys now. This is not right. This is a nut once again, and Spygate and all that stuff. So it has been a strange political mix this year for the National Football League.
And Roethlisberger throwing, caught, stops the clock. Weirdly enough, for people who are just tangentially interested in the game, they may be more interested in what's happened off the field than on the field.
Not me.
Not me either.
Not wait for it to end.
Yeah, well, we're not quite tangentially involved.
Yeah. I don't even want to get into the legal side of it. I stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning the other night reading that whole legal thing. They didn't even really get to the facts of the case. It was all about due process and lack of notice and all that stuff. That's what I did.
Roethlisberger. And that is caught by Brown for a touchdown. That might make a couple of people happy in a minute here as Malcolm Butler gets beaten. It makes it an 8-point game for the moment. Well, there are a couple of things that are going to be in play here right now.
Malcolm Butler is just dead perfect position. Maybe he used up all his luck in the Super Bowl, but he couldn't have been in better spots looking at the ball, and somehow it missed his hands.
Well, speak about tangentially interested. There are a few people more than tangentially interested right now. And you know what I mean.
No idea.
Here's Scobie. And that created a few oohs and ahs around the country. Believe me.
I don't need you to get me in trouble. I can do that on my own.
Me too. So that makes it a 7-point game with 2 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Brown and Butler going head-to-head tonight.
You know, Antonio Brown certainly made his plays, but when you lose Darrelle Revis and you're going to end up with one of your guys who wasn't even a starter in the Super Bowl, that you're going to say, okay, go cover the best guy or one of the best wide receivers in the game, I don't know that Bill Belichick would go, that's one-sided at all. I'll take that effort tonight from Malcolm Butler, and that one, of course, the touchdown ends up really in garbage time at the end of the game.
Not garbage time for some. It's one way to keep an audience, I know that. 2 seconds remaining. 2 missed field goals were big. Red zone faux pas were big. Is it faux pas or faux pas? You're the law school graduate.
I'm going faux pas. You know, and really, you take the 2 missed field goals and the blown chance from the 1-yard line, that's the difference in the game right now.
One drive after they cut it to 10 that